Can reducing toxins impact your chances of getting pregnant? Today we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to give you 10 things that you can do to start immediately decreasing your toxins to help you not only get healthier, but have a healthy baby and increase your chances of getting pregnant. I'm Denise Noyer-Erez, and I'm known as the Fertility Godmother, and welcome to Tea with the Fertility Godmother. I'm really excited to be here with you today, and this topic is something that I feel really passionate about, and it's one of the few things that really bother me. So I used to think that, maybe these BPAs and these toxins that I was reading about wasn't real. The problems with these chemicals wasn't real. I thought, no, how could the government, allow this to happen? It can't be real. But when I started diving into the research and finding out how much research there is on these chemicals, like the BPAs, the phthalates, the parabens that are all around us, it's really mind-blowing. And so I'm going to share with you some things that can really impact your chances of getting pregnant and also having a healthy baby. So, these environmental toxins are all around us, and you cannot really avoid them. But what you can do is minimize them. And as you minimize them, it really has a huge impact. And the good news is, if you minimize them and you're more mindful and conscious about it, then you're going to really have a chance to increase your, within like 3 to 8 days, you can start to minimize some of the concerns that you're having in your body. And you can measure this through blood tests. You can actually see these chemicals in your blood. And what happens is, as they accumulate in your body, they start to play with your endocrine system. And your endocrine system is such a key in regulating your hormones. And they mimic hormones, they block hormones, and it can cause things like making your eggs age. That was hard for me to say for some reason. Making your eggs age more quickly. They can damage the sperm count and quality. They can impact when you do get pregnant. So some of them bypass that fetal barrier, and they can really have a problem as you pass down to your children. And there are some things that are never going to go away. They've been passed down from generation to generation, and all we can do is do the best we can with what we have. So some things that you can do right away are really having a healthy diet, buying foods that are fresh and not processed. That's going to make a huge deal, not only for your overall health, but avoid those toxins and those phthalates and those PBAs that are chemical endocrine disruptors in our body. That's going to be a huge thing that right away is just eat fresh, as many fresh foods as you can. And a lot of vegetables are going to be really important in that, because in organic vegetables, and I'll share with that, you can probably guess, but the reason the vegetables are so important is the nutrients in the vegetables actually support your natural detoxification process in our body. So our bodies are always detoxifying on a regular basis, and what happens is, when you have too many of these toxins and they just build up, and it becomes what they call a toxic overload. It's just too much for your body to get rid of them. So, doing a cleanse, a really gentle cleanse, is one way to do it. But just by eating certain foods on a daily basis is going to be really important. And the nutrients from vegetables is a really key component in supporting your body to its own natural detoxification system. And the reason you want to choose organic, you can imagine, because of the pesticides and the chemicals, and that is, and that's why if that's what you're thinking, it's true, and it does make a big difference. So that's what I wanted to emphasize with you, is it is worth the investment in buying organic for most foods. And we actually have they have what's called the clean 15 and the dirty dozen, and we created a free gift for you. You can download, just go ahead and type in eat clean, and we'll send you that free gift of the dirty dozen and the clean 15, so that you know which foods you should really focus on purchasing organic versus the ones that you can get away with most of the time. So this is going to be just a general rule for you. This isn't is I'm recommending, you want to do this as much as possible to try to eat clean and organic and fresh. It doesn't mean you can never have processed food again, or whatever your favorite, like bag of chips or whatever it may be. It just means to really be mindful and to eliminate it, because it's going to impact your health. It's going to impact your fertility. It can prevent you from cancer later on down the road too. We know that it also is linked to, some of these chemicals are linked to cancer, as well as giving you challenges while you're getting pregnant. So important to just be mindful of that. Okay, so that was one. So the second thing I wanted to talk to you about was eliminating plastic. So plastics have the PPAs in them. You definitely do not want to microwave in plastic, but you want to avoid plastic containers. One thing I think a lot of people don't realize is that plastic film, that, what's it called, that saran wrap or that cling wrap that you use to cover up your food, when you're those have a lot of parabens in them. And then especially if you're microwaving your food and you're using the plastic, it's going to go, those chemicals are going to go right into your food. And so what I like to do is I like to wet a paper towel when I'm microwaving, and I use that so that my food doesn't get dried out if I'm warming up some food. So you want to avoid plastic bottles, even the BPA free bottles. They just replaced it with another chemical called BPS, and it's just as damaging, if not even more damaging, as the BPA. So it's, again, just marketing technique. So you want to make sure to avoid as much as you can plastic water bottles. And I have my big stainless steel water bottle that I fill up, and I use as much as I can. And the truth is, I do buy plastic water bottles if I'm on a road trip and I'm thirsty. I'm gonna get probably a plastic water bottle. They don't usually have the glass water bottles, or if they do, it's really small. So I still have it, but I've eliminated it so much. So you can also just be mindful and eliminate it as much as you can. So those are some things about just buying plastic. The other thing, which is kind of odd to me, but it's the truth. When you go to the grocery store and you get a receipt, that receipt that they're handing you has a ton of chemicals on it, the phthalates and the BPAs. It has a ton of chemicals, and you're touching the receipt, and then maybe you're going to go eat. I don't know. Try not to get the receipt. Have them email it to you, or do what you need to do. Wash your hands afterwards. But you want to try to avoid those receipts as much as possible. I thought that was so interesting. Really? Okay, this is a big one, cosmetics. So cosmetics have as much as 100 and I think it was 89 chemicals. 68 chemicals. 168 chemicals found in some of our cosmetics. Crazy. And we're putting that on our body, and our body is our biggest organ, and it goes right into our bloodstream. And it's just going to accumulate. So you can see how there's like this kind of a stacking effect on some of the things that we do on a normal basis. Can affect everything. So we microwave some of food, some frozen food in a plastic container, and then maybe some makeup, and then we went to the grocery store, we had receipt, right? And it just keeps piling up. So I said I was going to give 10 tips, so bear with me. And if you want more information about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, type in Eat Clean, and we'll send you our handouts to make it easy for you, so you can focus on those things. And also, I know I'm sharing a lot of information here, but I actually even go deeper into this whole being in a toxic-free environment as much as possible, and eliminating them in my private Facebook group called the Fertility Godmother Family. And if you'd like to join that, please just head on over there, and you can look at what I have. I have a whole training on how to help you become clean and what to look for even more. So soaps, shampoos, detergents, those are some of the other things that you want to just be mindful of. So this can start to become overwhelming. So it's not like you have to go and redo a whole, makeover in your house. You can do little by little. So again, you really want to focus on reducing as much as you can and just being mindful. And I would start one thing right away was the food, because the food's going to have such a huge impact on so many aspects of your body, and the egg quality and the sperm quality and your overall health, as the others do. Dust is really, it holds all the chemicals that come in from the outside. So you want to just dust your house. And this is one thing. Another thing that is really important, you may have been reading about, is the sunscreen, right? So we want to protect our skin so we don't get cancer, but yet we're putting on a chemical that can create cancer. So you want to avoid sunscreen, or use sunscreens that have either zinc oxide or titanium oxide in them as the main ingredient. And watch out for those other sunscreens, because those something to protect your skin. You want to be careful with, right? We're trying to always do things to help us, and then we find out later, that wasn't good for us. So, but the titanium oxide and the zinc oxide sunscreens are good, or safe. And then just kind of a random thing, the pots and pans you use, actually this isn't random, I was going to say another one. So there's so much out there. I feel like I want to tell you this one instead of the other one I was saying. The other one I was saying was the dry cleaning. Try to use a environmentally friendly dry cleaner, because again, the chemicals, and if you can't, you want to sorry, when I just got squirrel. Okay. If you can't find a dry cleaner that has environmentally friendly products, make sure you take the plastic off and you let it air out somewhere where you can, before you put your clothes on, at least as much as possible. And the last thing I want to talk about was the pans we cook with. We like to use nonstick pans. I know I do, because I'm in a hurry. It's easier to clean. It cooks better. But you want to avoid Teflon, okay, or anything that has, it's called a PFC, perfluorinated chemicals. So those are, oh, hi. Hey, Charlie, my dog said hi. Anything that you want to avoid those chemicals. So you want to maybe get a green pan, or there's a couple of really great pans out there that are really helpful in order to do that. Okay, so I know that's a lot. We went over 10 things. We went over making sure you're having fresh foods, avoiding plastics, handling receipts, looking at your cosmetics, and so cosmetics includes your soaps, your shampoos, the detergent, all these things that you're putting on your body and then absorbs into the skin, dust, dry cleaning, and your pots and pans. So again, I'd love for you, if you'd like to join my private Fertility Godmother family, you can hop over there on the Facebook and ask. You'll have to request to join that. And I have a whole nother in-depth training, a couple of them in that group. And one thing, once you start avoiding these toxins, these chemicals, just by eliminating them or minimizing them, you can have a huge effect with the amount in your body within anywhere, depending on what it is, 3 to 8 days. So let's say a week. Within a week, your body can get a lot of those toxins out, and that will improve your fertility, improve your chances of, so you'll get improving your chances of getting pregnant, staying pregnant, having a healthy baby. And then when you're pregnant, you have to worry about it again at a whole new level. But you want to prepare yourself to get pregnant so that you can have a healthy baby, prepare your body, nurture that soil so that you can give it your best and be as healthy as you can, because that's the ultimate goal, is adding to your family. All right, here's to your health, happiness, and fertility. We'll see you next week. Mwah.